Senator Bernie Sanders, independent of Vermont, appointed Reverend Jesse Jackson as a campaign advisor. The Sanders camp announced Saturday. I'm humbled and proud to have Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. by my side in the fight to expand voting rights, create a single-payer healthcare system, and finally deliver full social and economic equality for those who have been left behind, Sanders said in a tweet on Saturday. Jackson, a civil rights leader who endorsed Sanders at a campaign rally in Michigan before the state's crucial primary on Tuesday, told CBS the candidate made several commitments to him. Sanders told him that he would introduce a constitutional amendment in the Senate next week on voting rights, name black women to his cabinet, and nominate a black woman to the Supreme Court if he is elected president. He also reportedly asked Sanders to pick a black woman as his running mate. Former Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams, who has been floated potential running mate. Okay, this is the Hill being dumb again. They're not. Telling you the grammar on this website can be atrocious at times. Former Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams, who has been floated. They have potential running mate. It should be as a potential running mate. Is one of a handful of politicians that fits that description. The move comes as the Sanders campaign seeks to gain a foothold of black voter support before the next batch of elections. Sanders has not yet been able to garner the majority of black support, unlike his chief rival, former Vice President Joe Biden. Let's all vote for the dude that had the bill 20 years ago that locked a lot of us up. Okay, so I want to talk more so about I think this is really weird. They don't mention that Sanders endorsed Jackson when he ran for president. That's kind of crazy. They kept it out for whatever reason. You would think that Jackson was just this civil rights icon who had no interest in running for office ever, which is incorrect. I also like that they call him Jesse Jackson Sr., as if people are going to think that Junior, who was in jail for a couple of years, was like, yeah, I'm feeling the burn. So the constitutional amendment on voting rights is good. Not going to pass because McConnell is blocking everything all the time, forever. But, it's still something that I think should be introduced because it could be the groundwork for an era that is not the stagnation of the current Congress. Name black women in his cabinet. Not a problem with that either. I hope it's not just one. Because Trump only has one black person in his cabinet. And Obama wasn't that much better, so I'm not trying to play the partisan divide stuff. The part that gets me worried is when he says that he asked Sanders to pick a black woman as his running mate, because when I think of DNC and high-profile African-American chicks, it's basically Harris, Michelle, and I guess Abrams now, who has been floated around. She's been like just a constant name getting mentioned by everybody. You don't even know anything about this lady, and you want her as your running mate. And again, the article is the one that said that she was a person that was being considered. So, that wasn't Sanders saying, well, I'm looking at Abrams. So I'm not trying to, misrepresent his words at all. I just think it's crazy that people are still upset with Warren. I actually think if he picked Harris, which I don't think he will, he would probably be better off than picking Warren, because Warren's got the, the Pocahontas and stuff and all that. But I don't think he's going to pick a black woman, again, because there's not really many progressive, well, I guess Nina Turner, but she doesn't have the name recognition of the other two. Hell, Harris doesn't even really have that good of a name recognition outside of her home state. Female Obama, my foot. But yeah, this is a really good endorsement. It's something that has been rooted in the relationship between these two men for several decades now. And I just don't get why they're not talking about that in this article. But see, this is how you play politics. When you endorse somebody, you extort something. You get them to commit to some kind of position or thing that you want. You don't just go, well, because Sanders is running in the Democratic primary and I support Democrats no matter who it is. It's Jackson is smart. He is he's famous for a reason, and it's got a lot to do with his intelligence, and I'm glad he did this.